Hello, and welcome to the Thinking Ahead podcast. My name is Ronaldo Stevens, and I'm your host on this journey to not only fund your future in education, but to find the right path for you while staying debt-free. You could say we're seeking truth in college, careers, and finance. Talk across the town these days, or really the country, is on the job market. Government shutdown aside, there are people across the web, the country, and the world complaining about the state of the job market as well as the government these days. Fake job listings, undercutting, underemployment, low pay for lots of work, ghost jobs. It all seems like doom and gloom, but what's really happening out there? Every month, we do get a job report from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. And while the government shutdown's going on, I don't think they're going to be doing as much work. However, they do say that the job market is still moving forward. There are still jobs being created and jobs that need to be filled. But again, we need to find out what's really happening out there. So, as I've mentioned in previous podcasts, the best way to find out what's happening in the job market is to go to a job fair in your area or a career expo in your area and see what the market is like in your area. America's a big place. Just because the industry numbers may be dropping overall doesn't mean they're dropping in your area. You can also see what jobs are available and what the market trend is like in your area by going to a job fair. So I went to a job fair and I asked around to see what was happening and to see what was trending. I also wanted to ask questions about what's happening to the job market in regards to AI and other industries. By talking to the recruiters and the people that are actually working in these fields, you do get a good look at what they're looking for. After all, if a company really wasn't looking to hire more people because they didn't have the money or if they weren't doing good, then they wouldn't waste money sending their recruiters out there. Or at least most companies wouldn't waste money that way. So what I'm going to do in this episode is I'm going to play clips of interviews that I've done with the recruiters at the job fair, and I'm going to tie them all to a theme. And hopefully that will provide you with insight on what your market might be like, as well as give you some tips on how to find certain jobs. Again, one of the ways we get lost in looking for work is not knowing how to find it. So by asking these recruiters their ideas and their tips for you to get into their field, I'm hoping that we can give you insight and you can find out what it is that you need to do to get there. One of my first questions to the employers and recruiters I saw was how AI is affecting their industry. This first interviewee preferred to remain anonymous, but works in industrial maintenance, which is strongly affected by AI. Let's hear what they have to say about that. Sound warning, I am testing a new field microphone, so please forgive me for any blowouts and loud noises and any uncontrolled noises from this point in the interviews. Gomen nasai. I'm here with somebody who prefers to remain anonymous, but can you quickly tell me what field you're in?
Yeah, I'm in the robotics, maintenance, and engineering field. I come from an aircraft maintenance background, did 21 years in the military in the Air Force, and I've been in maintenance background for about 30 years now.
That's a long time, and so you've seen a lot of changes over those 30 years, I imagine.
Absolutely. Everything's grown, everything's changed, for sure.
Right. And one of the things we were just talking about was how AI is causing a lot of disruptions and changes to the workforce. Do you mind expanding upon that, how it's affecting your field or not affecting your field?
Absolutely. So from even before I got out of the military, there's AI advancements in how to troubleshoot, how to fix problems. You input what you as you collect data as a maintenance person, you always collect your root causes and what fixed something, how many times do we use this part, and the ability for AI to collect that data, you would have a team of people collecting that data throughout years and quarter over quarter, month over month. Now you have AI that can do all that for you. And it's still honing in. It's not perfect, but believing within the next few months, definitely within the next few years, that'll be perfected, and it'll get rid of some of those jobs, but it'll perfect how fast we can fix, repair, and how advanced the military will be. But even in the civilian world, working with the account I'm on now, I have 5,100 robots and 24 miles of conveyance. Literally, from the moment you order something from a website, it can get out of a 1.2 million square foot facility that has 4 floors and 10 million items in the building. It can go from the minute you push the button out the door in 24 minutes. And that's what AI allows. And it's only going to get stronger, only going to get better. The negative effect, as some people look at it, I don't, but a lot of unskilled labor jobs. So you're coming out of the street and you need a job. Maybe you're a box mover. Maybe you're just not very experienced in a vocational skill. Those jobs are probably going to get replaced by AI. And not 100% yet, but over the next few years, definitely it's what the industry is going toward.
I also talked with a couple of other businesses about AI. I'm here with a representative from the Team Gifted Home Care, and we're going to talk about the home care industry and at-home healthcare. Do you find that your industry has been affected at all by the implementation of artificial intelligence or AI?
Oh my God, yes, it does. I mean, AI is everywhere. I use it. I use my TikTok. I use my AI to do my floating of my advertisement from my business, and I love it.
My name is Joe Began. I'm Business Development Manager for Employment Simplified Incorporated, and we do staffing, recruiting, and HR.
How do you find that artificial intelligence is impacting the workforce?
Great question. So it's very helpful for those who are hiring as well as those who are looking to get hired. It's also very harmful because it's taking the organic nature out of the job hunt. You mentioned earlier, we're in a digital world now. Everyone's online looking for jobs that way rather than walking in with your suit and tie and your cardstock resume and saying, hey, I'd like to interview for this position. AI is creating a lot of shortcuts, and it can be helpful. I mean, students are using it, educators are using it. It's taking a lot of that work ethic on the front end out and really providing a false narrative around who a person is, to your point. People just go on and ChatGPT now and say, write me a resume. We can see that. My team looks at thousands of resumes a week, right? It is what we do. Having conversations with people is what we do. I can tell right away if it's an AI-generated resume or if they just use it to assist, which is fine, because maybe it'll change the way you wrote something that'll catch a hiring manager's eye. But if you're just letting the computer do the work for you, you're really cheating yourself because, as you said, once you get in the room, these hiring managers, these decision makers are going to be able to see through some of the BS that's put on these resumes. They're going to put you to the test, whether it's a technical assessment right there, put you on the spot, or if it's some detailed pointed questions that's going to really be able to see through some of the nonsense and adjectives ChatGPT threw on your resume. I think it's a very helpful tool. I also think that if you rely on that too much, you're really not going to have an opportunity to swim once you're in the seat.
Teresa Myers in accounting.
All right. Do you find that AI has disrupted the field at all, or at least the work that you do?
Not yet, but it's moving there. You know, a lot of the tax softwares and accounting programs are actually integrating AI. So it's definitely developing and it's continuously changing.
One of the things that I liked that didn't make it onto the recording when I was talking to one of the recruiters was that they brought up the ATM as a point of reference for companies using AI. Now, banks have been using automated tellers machines for a long time, and it's not going to go away. But they still do have tellers in the bank to do those tasks that the machine can't do. And I think that is a good frame of reference for AI, because even though all these banks are using online banking and ATMs and drive-through ATMs. They still need people to take care of the more complicated tasks. And that's what we're hearing about from a lot of these recruiters. Piggybacking off of that previous question, one of my questions to recruiters was, how can we prepare ourselves and make our positions or our jobs AI proof? And here is what some of them had to say.
Okay, so what are some of those advanced skills that we are going to still see in the workforce, and what can students as well as people that are out there right now do to get those skills?
So definitely coming to a school like Indian River State College, they have programs to bridge those gaps. They have full university programs that to where you could get an engineering degree or whatnot. But then even coming in and the skill traits that are going to be needed: automation engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, robots. Even if they program a robot to fix another robot, at some point robots have to fix a human has to interact with a robot. They're getting to a point where robots can, or the AI can program a robot, but somebody has to validate or engage with that robot and the programming to start it all off, and then to interpret and troubleshoot when there's an error. So as we alleviate human error, there's still going to be maintenance error. There's still going to be environmental errors. Like, we're probably a decade away from being able to really automate everything. So, but even when everything is automated, somebody has to fix it and somebody has to troubleshoot it. And then there's always those people positions. So even if they cut down HR or even if they cut down recruiting, they're still going to have recruiting and HR. Teachers are still going to be necessary, but the trades, electricians, plumbers, HVAC, we are decades away from those being replaced by any kind of automation, I believe.
Joe from ESI.
Critical thinking will never be replaced. Problem solving will never be replaced. And people skills will never be replaced. Being able to look someone in the eye and have a conversation. Being able to take a deep breath and really dissect the information you have to come up with the best possible solution. Sure, you could type it into an AI and it might be able to give you some answers, but you need to have that human touch and the ability to really understand the needs of the problem and of the people who have the problem so you can come to the table with solutions. But that's what makes the world go round, and that's every industry, is to be able to create solutions for a modern world and to be able to do it consultatively and make sure you're giving people what they need. I would say, hey man, be a people person, be able to solve problems, and be open to new ideas, new ideologies, and really be able to bring whatever you bring to the table, be able to defend it, but also be open of what someone else's perspective will be. And I don't think a computer will ever be able to truly be able to do that as effectively as we can.
Teresa Myers on accounting.
No, it's definitely going into technology and computing, and we're moving into AI in accounting and everything else in the world, really going that way. But there still is a lot of human interactions that you need, especially in the public accounting arena.
Moving on from AI, we're now going to take a look at what some industries need in general. So I asked questions to the recruiters and people working in these fields on what the industry is looking like and also what somebody might need to start working in that field, whether it's education or experience. And here are some of the responses I heard. We're going to start with the home healthcare industry, as here in Florida, that's a pretty big one.
So first of all, what are your insights into the home care industry as a whole? Do you see it growing or?
Yes, the healthcare industry is definitely growing. People are living longer because they are getting better care. So we are here because we try to prevent clients from going into the hospital. So we prevent falls, we do our assessment, and if there's any adjustment that we need to do, we will definitely take up that in hand, discuss it with the clients, and we try to keep them safe at home.
And what kind of skills are needed, or what should students look to study if they're trying to become a home caregiver or get into the healthcare, the caring part of the healthcare
So if
industry?
you would like to work in the healthcare industry, you need an HHA certificate, which is a home health aide certificate, or a certified nursing assistant certificate, or a licensed practical nurse certificate. Or we do employ registered nurse as well. So you would go to school, you get all these credentials together, and because we are an independent contractor, you have to come prepared. You have to come ready to work because we don't train you. So you need to come prepared for work.
A representative from Elder Home Care Services.
And what are the traits or skills that a caregiver should have whenever they come and work with you?
So the caregiver has to have a home health aide certificate or a CNA license, valid CPR card. We also do a background check, and they have to have certain CEUs that they need in order to work with us, and they have to have a minimum of 2 years experience so that they can go in the field and work with the elderly in the home.
Do you have any suggestions where the students are, I should say, potential employees should get the experience, or any recommendations?
There's home health aid courses online that they can take to complete the 75 hours certification. There's also local schools that offer the program. I would just say go into Google and see which school is closer to you, or you can do the online program.
Teresa Myers on accounting.
Oh, the need for accounting will always be there. There's no doubt about that. Somebody's going to have to be there to, data entry and actually analyzing everything, and preparing tax returns, the consulting portion of it. So the need for accounting, I don't think ever decreases.
Excellent. And for students and even people that are trying to get into accounting or even have an interest in accounting, what path would you suggest them to take, or how would they get those skills that are needed?
Well, you definitely want to go to college and get a bachelor's degree. If you're looking to progress and get your certified public accounting degree, you need 150 credit hours, at least in the state of Florida. So I always tell people, go for your master's. It's just a couple more classes. And so you want to start out with business. Make sure you take your essential business classes, business laws, your marketing, get that all around portion of business, because that's going to help you in the accounting aspect, because you need to understand businesses in order to actually do accounting. Then after you get done with your master's, sit down and please take your CPA exam, because we can't find anybody that wants to do that. It's about 40% down for people sitting for the CPA exam. So we're really struggling in the industry, just like most industries, of trying to find employees. So anybody that's interested in accounting, please go out there.
Would you say getting an MBA, because a lot of people that think business think MBA and not necessarily accounting? Would you say that people that get an MBA looking to do business would be prime candidates to step over to take the CPA and move into accounting?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I have an MBA. So you can get a bachelor's in accounting, or you can get a bachelor's in business administration and then follow through with your accounting courses. But I think MBA is wonderful for anybody that's really looking to get into that accounting as a profession.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Oh, no problem. Have a great day.
You too.
My name is Shelley.
My name is Jordan.
Thank you for taking time to speak with me today. And what field or industry would you say you're in?
So we're in the human resources recruiting, actually, is our specialty. That is what we handle, but we sit in the human resources department, and we work for the government, Indian River County.
So as we were discussing before, county government and city governments are typically fields of jobs that aren't looked at as much as the private industry or even schooling, such as colleges, universities, and teaching. Why do you think that is?
Well, we are, I would say we're a service based role. So we're kind of behind the scenes folks. So it's positions that often go overlooked. It's things that traffic lights that people don't think about that we service, as well as our libraries, pools within the community. So a lot of the stuff is behind the scenes work, I like to say. So I think that's a big reason why we often get overlooked.
And I feel that another thing is people aren't sure how to train for jobs within the governments, whether it's the county government, city government. What would you suggest people do to get more information on the training that they should do to prepare for jobs within the government, whether it's federal, city, county?
I think it depends on the field that they're interested in. They can go and get an education behind that field, or they can look at, even if they just went on a county website to look at what's available, and they determine the skill set that's needed, go for that skill set, figure out how to attain it, and then come back to that job.
And then I think a big part of, if you want to get involved in local government, is just getting involved with your community. We offer lots of volunteer opportunities, whether that's building oyster mats for our Indian River Lagoon here, going and checking out sea turtle nesting sites, and those are free volunteer opportunities that can kind of get you involved and get to know us as a county government.
All right, and where can people find out more about the jobs that are available?
So we are Indian River County Board of County Commissioners. We have a website that's indianriver.gov. They can just log in, see what's available online, and then apply for a position.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'm here with the St. Lucie County Fire District. There are two representatives from the district. And real quick, can you give me your names and your positions?
Sure. I'm Carol Spencer. I'm with Human Resources.
And my name is Lieutenant Roberto Santa. So I'm the recruitment officer. And also I work with our young fire cadets, our high school cadet students too. Okay, as far as the path to becoming a firefighter, it's pretty simple. You first have to be EMT certified, through any of our local schools here in the county. And once you get EMT certified through the state, then you can apply for the fire academy. And that's about a 3-month school or a 6-month school at night. Once you complete that, then that's when you can start applying for fire department jobs. So always encouraged to continue education and go ahead and start your paramedic school, because some fire departments will only accept applications if you're already a paramedic, state certified paramedic, or at least in paramedic school.
The great thing about Lieutenant Santa is also runs a cadet program. And if you have someone that you know that's younger, what age group does that start?
It starts
Lieutenant?
at 15, so 15 to age 20.
And they have the ability to shadow a firefighter and see what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Yes. So like right now we have about 40 to 45 cadets. And they'll stay there at least till they graduate high school. They have the option to continue in the program and become a mentor towards the younger cadets. But it gives them an idea if that's something they really want to do.
In addition to that, we offer some great general employee positions, which means we get to actually support the firefighters. It can be in a human resources position, a finance position. It can be a dispatcher, and they have the ability to listen and take in all the calls and assist the firefighters to get to where they need to be.
The last question or theme that we discussed was that of company culture. And the reason this was brought up was there are many things that you need to look for when looking for a job, but one of the unseen things is that of how you're treated and what benefits you get outside of monetary ones. So I asked several recruiters and employees their thoughts on company culture.
Now, a lot of different industries are experiencing fluctuation with people coming in, people going out, people staying for 4 or 5 years maybe and then leaving. Do you find the same thing in the fire district?
It doesn't happen that much. We do have a pretty good job retention. We're very competitive with our surrounding counties. So as far as like people leaving us to go to other departments or different careers, it doesn't happen much.
And we're very fortunate. We have a great benefits package that we offer here to include a lucrative pension, MHO, which is considered our health department's, not a health department, I apologize. It's the health division where we're allowed to go and get healthy for whatever sick leave we may have.
Anonymous.
the reason I love maintenance and maintenance field engineering is because when something breaks, I touch it, now it's fixed. It gives me a purpose. It gives me something to do. Whereas the feedback I get from most people in the services, be it from restaurants to a box mover in a warehouse, they feel like they don't have a purpose. All they do is they move a box. There's a goal, some arbitrary line that Lowe's or Amazon or Home Depot says you have to meet this metric. Well, if the robot's doing that part and they're cleaning for you and they're doing all those things, you're open to doing the more advanced items that take a little bit more training. In the world today, it doesn't matter your age. I'm well in my 40s, and I still learn something new every day. Right now, I have a team of 74 automation engineers, mechanics, and robotics technicians, and they range from, my youngest one is 22, my oldest one is 71. So having that mix of people helps, the diversity of it helps bring out ideas. The young keep the old motivated, the old get to teach the young. As long as you get egos checked at the door, it's all everybody can grow and work as a team.
Joe from ESI.
I think what we're finding now is that the more seasoned employee is getting more looks than maybe in previous years or previous decades, only because we know a couple things about that generation. The work ethic is there, they're reliable, dependable, and they get the job done, and they're used to that. A lot of the younger generations coming in, yes, they're skilled and experienced when it comes to technology. It's great you reference that, because that is a challenge for some of our older employees. But some of that work ethic's not there. Some of the reliability and dependability is not there. So it is a nice little mix right now, I would say. But it really just depends on deliverables, right? What can you do for the position? How you can actually deliver on that? How much micromanaging do you need? And how much growth do you want? And I think the shift we've seen over the past couple of years is that with more companies going back to the office rather than the remote model, company culture is actually mattering more than it probably ever has, because you want to be proud of the organization you represent, and vice versa. The company wants to make sure you're representing them in the right way. But if you're going to be in an office with people, you want to know that you're supported. You're not just a number. Your voice matters. And I think that really leads to the impact of work you're doing. Knowing that your work matters, you're valued, and that you're making a difference. I think that is a big thing, that total compensation is something that's lost on people. They only want to see what's on their pay stub, but a lot of things matter with that. $10,000 less salary could end up making you $50,000 more when it comes to benefits, retirement options, stock options, and of course being happy where you work. All those things matter, and I do think that the younger generation only focuses on that bottom line number rather than the total compensation and what actually keeps someone happy in a career, not just a job.
Team Gifted Healthcare.
To find the right caregiver, you have to go through screening. You have to build a relationship with them. On my path with my caregivers, because we are a team, I'm very handpicked when I'm choosing my caregivers, because I have to match them accordingly to my clients. So we work alongside with the caregivers to ensure that they're in the right space and they're in the right space with the client as much as they are in the company. And we have an open policy as well, where the caregivers can always come to us if they're not happy in the space or if they have any issues.
This conversation with the American Stairs employees is actually what started the focus on company culture. Let's hear what they have to say.
There's a healthy balance between where you're working and the money you're making, as well as the culture. Because if you're making a lot of money, but you don't have the mental well-being to consistently make that money, you can lose it the next day. As far as culture goes, if you're at a place where you're a number, you're not even a person, you're just a number, and you'll always be a number, you don't feel like you're making an impact. And if you already have a stressful home life, and then you're making all this money and you lose that job, then you've lost the money. Anyway.
Hi, my name is Valeria, and I just feel like as an adult, you want to spend your time not just doing money, right? You also want a place that makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel like you're part of a family, and that's what we have in American Stairs. Our boss is very nice. He is always supporting us, which is very important. Plus, I'm an immigrant, so it's very important to me to feel like comfortable in that place, which American Stair allows me to feel like more than a team member, like a part of a family. If you need the money, it's important, you know what I mean? But if you are like in a position like you are stable and you're making decent money, I feel like it's very, very important your mental health feel good and do not feel like if you are trash. In some jobs, that's how you feel.
With everyone I've talked to, the short story is this. The market may be doing great or terrible, depending on your industry and where you live. I'll make a special note that I didn't see any construction or energy companies at this job fair, which matches what I've read from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The Bureau of Labor Statistics works within the Department of Labor and tracks how specific industries are doing. If you're curious about your field, you can check out the link I've posted to their recent report in the show notes. Now, where to go from here? If you're searching for a job, or a better job, there is no doubt that you can increase your likelihood of being hired by increasing your knowledge and experience. One of the quickest ways to do that is by taking a course of some sort. A lot of my interviewees today mentioned fields that require learning and growing, possibly outside of your current field and job time. As we live in a capitalist market, everything runs on money whether we like it or not. Do you want a better product? Pay more money. Do you want to work less or earn more per hour? Get that knowledge that would allow that. Need to have proof that you've learned that knowledge? You have to pay for a class that offers a certificate or a degree. And that takes time and money. Time and money that you may not have right now, but that you can manage over the next few months or years with a little bit of planning. To help out in this aspect, I'm putting a link in the description with a download for my 3-year timeline worksheet. It helps put things into perspective so you're not just looking at your day-to-day or month-to-month activities, but seeing how much progress you're making over a long-term plan. It has helped me, and it also does help to show your progress and give you that little motivational boost. So please take a look for that in the show notes as well. That's all the time we have for today. And if you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, comments, or so on, please reach out at thinkingaheadpodcast.com. You can also leave a text message if you go to the thinkingaheadpodcast.buzzsprout.com website. As the outro music plays, I'll leave you with some advice from one of my interviewees. If you liked this episode, please subscribe and also check out the Thinking Ahead Podcast YouTube channel. In the meantime, keep believing in yourself and, of course, keep thinking ahead.
I wouldn't have a job if the job market wasn't thriving. There are positions everywhere. People are hiring, and it's all about putting yourself out there to be able to find the right opportunity. But I think, anybody will skew numbers to support their argument. I think the job market is just as strong as it's ever been right now, and that's all across every industry we work with.